What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck. Okay. I am doing this. We are doing this. We are doing this. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. For me, it's like laundry and cleanup day, me and my son. But listen, we have a couple videos that I'm going to be putting out today. I am going to be going over the election hearing that occurred on yesterday. That was like almost 4 hours and some change long. No, I take that back. It was over 5 hours and some change long. And, oh man, Vivian, you are a trooper for sitting there for 5+ hours and listen to the debauchery and the buffoonery and the foolishness that is this election board hearing where Dumb and Dumber still want Napoleon Harris somehow to have his name kicked off the ballot because of a residence that could easily be proven by state law with a driver's license and a lease agreement or a utility or a mortgage deed. You know, those legally acceptable documentation that you can use to prove your residence. Yeah, no, the election board, who seem to be absolutely incompetent, and I said it, the election board, who do not seem to be attorneys at all, nor are they versed in election laws, want this charade to go on and on and on at the taxpayers' expense for dumb reasons that I tell you, for whatever reason, it comes down to basically, hey, we get paid to do this and we don't care. Then one of the ladies was just trying to throw a bone to Dumb and Dumber, but ignored all of the legal arguments that were being brought forth from Napoleon's attorneys. I mean, they're literally citing case law and statutes. And she's sitting here like, well, it'll be our decision. No, heifer. It needs to be a decision made on the law. And if you cannot do that, you need to be voted out and replaced. No one's in the mood for all this nonsense and stuff. They just throwing them a bone. So, either way, Lord have mercy. Every time I start a live stream, somebody's doing something and it comes, I get notifications because I try to, support everybody, but whatever. Either way, we're going to be talking about that video. We're not going to do it now. What I want to do now is go over this video that was posted up on Vivian Allen's page, but she got it from Ernesto. What's his name? Hold on a second. Let me get his name. I want to make sure I say it right. It was posted up by Ernesto Mickens. So I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or anything, but Vivian did put it on hers. You guys could check that out. I'm subscribed to her channel, so I got a notification of it. And it is a very good view of Super Stupid running into the battle. That's pretty much that. But this is a new angle for me. I have not seen this angle. And you guys know the last video I did, I slowed everything down, reversed it, did a view of every portion of that video I could. And I also want to I got a comment on that video about the guy's name that's being yelled out, Randy. That is not the guy that was pushing Jedediah by his head. His name is not Randy. I don't know what his name is. But if you all know who he is, please put a comment and tell me what his name is. I'm just repeating what I heard here because I don't know who those people are. So I'm only able to repeat what I hear in the video. It's not like there was an arrow pointing to the person. So it's not to be intentionally defamatory because that's not what that means. But it's not to be misleading or anything because that's not misleading either. But it's just repeating the name that I heard. And naturally, most people assume that this is the person that has that name that's actually turning around and looking at the cameraman. So I don't know what the guy's name is, but he was the guy wearing the black jacket with the black cap that was pushing Jedediah by his head. In my last video that I slowed down, I have a app where I can, have a software on my device where it allows me to be able to slow down in real time and do what I was able to do, go back and forth, and you can see and do still frames and all that good stuff. So yes, we still putting this together, but I think I've covered pretty much every angle aside from it being an aerial view. I mean, that's probably the only angle I have not seen of this fight. It's just what's happening from looking down, as if you were flying over, looking down below. That's it. That would be the only angle left for me. But we're going to check this out. Like I said, you guys let me know who the guy is that was pushing Jedediah by his head in the other video. His name is not Randy. I don't know what the guy's name is, but Randy is not to be malicious. I don't know who you are either, nor do I know how you look. But I just heard the name, and he looked at the camera. Naturally going to assume that someone's calling him. If he looks up, you're responding. But I don't know. So you all tell me who he is, and tell me who these people are. He shouldn't have been in the fight either way. I don't care what his name is. He should not have been in that fight. He certainly should not have been pushing the man by his head while he's already on the floor. So he's a punk ass. How about that? I'm just going to call him punk ass, and we're going to keep living. But either way, let's get to it. There is sound. Slow down. Okay, now, here's the issue, too. Public Ops posted up a video of Jedediah grabbing the mic. He did grab the mic right here. Y'all see it? There it is. Freeze frame. Let me go back. Look at that. So there's the mic. All right. Now, whether he meant to grab it or not, you know, he certainly wasn't trying to grab it to use it. I think it was just innate. Because he had just got through speaking. He wasn't going to use it. He didn't use it. So I don't know what he was going to grab it for. I will let him say that, but it's visual here to see that he did grab it. I think it was just, like I said, innate. Because that's not something you just grab. You're a grown man. You're going into a fight with two other men. You got another guy next to you. If you're about to defend yourself, I would not think you would just grab a microphone. But I just think it was innate. But I'll let him explain that. I'm just showing what I'm seeing here. And if you all see, the first person to reach out and touch was Kamal. Look at his hand here. Look at that. Look at that. First touch was Kamal. That's Kamal's arm with the red stripe. See that? It's quick. But he's the first person to touch. He had his arm out. He didn't touch him. He just had his arm out to stop him from going towards Jedediah. But he did not touch him. Lavelle, no, he did not touch him, Lord. This is why we thank God for this slow down technology. Look at that. He did not touch him. I just want to highlight this. Because everybody keeps saying Lavelle was the first one to hit. No. The first contact is from Kamal. When we're talking about battery, we're talking about physical contact here. That first contact, that first physical contact is from Kamal. Lavelle just had his arm out, but he didn't put his hand on him. He held his arm out to keep Kamal from coming towards Jedediah. Kamal then takes his arm and puts it on Lavelle, on his shoulder. Takes his hand. Look at that contact. There it is. Look at that. And then he grabbed his clothes. So I want you all to see this. And the court. And the FBI. And everybody else in between. Look at this. First contact came from Kamal. See? Kamal was not, Lavelle was not trying to touch him. Because he didn't. He would have done it if he wanted to. If he just wanted to punch the guy, he would have just went in. He would not have put his arm out to stop him. That was a defense mechanism. He's trying to stop him from actually making contact. And what does Kamal do? Makes contact. Not only does he make contact, but he grabs his shoulder. That's Kamal's arm with the red lettering on the black shirt. Grabs Lavelle's shoulder and grips his clothes in his fist. So that's what started it right then and there. There you go. First contact done by Kamal Woods. Lavelle was not touching him. He simply had his arm out to stop Kamal from approaching Jedediah. And the moment he did this, look at that. Booyaka. That's it. First contact. And now you have this little girl involved. This is the part here that I want to highlight here. So we got the first contact from Kamal on Lavelle's shoulder. Right there. That's going to be a part of my thumbnail. And then you all see her come in. Super Stupid comes in. And guess what she does? Because now the view that she sees, oh, his head's down. But he lowered his head. Kamal lowered his head. For whatever reason he did. I don't know why he did that. But he lowered his head. And yes, I'm doing it like this so y'all can see these major moves being made here. Kamal Shania put his hand on Lavelle. Because you can clearly see him doing that. You can clearly see him putting his hand on Lavelle. And then once he does that, he grabs his clothes. He grabbed the clothes. And then he put his head down. Y'all see that? Kamal lowered his head. No one told him to do that. He lowered his head on his own. See that? He lowered his head right there. Freeze frame. His head is lowered on his own accord, not because somebody did something to him. He lowered his own head. Why would you do that? You're in a fight, you're going to lower your own head? What are you doing? He just stepped in and lowered his head. His head went down. And Super Stupid right here launches in. And guess who she launches on? Lavelle. Here you go. So this gives this little breakaway. Whoever's recording, I guess, forgot they were recording. But y'all see Super Stupid right here? There you go. She's running in here like a dumbass. Girl, this is, I send these types of videos straight to the FBI. You little dingus. I hope you know that. I tag the FBI in these videos. So you ran into this fight. You won't be able to lie and say you didn't. You weren't breaking up anything. You and your attorney y'all need to come up with a better gimmick. We're going to go over that video right after this. But y'all need to come up with a better gimmick. I mean, y'all lying like hell to where it's embarrassing. Your attorney should be highly embarrassed of himself. You went to law school, Brinkley, whatever your name is. Do better. Come up with something better. Look at what your client is doing. Look at this. You can't deny that. You can't deny this. She ran in because Kamal lowered his own damn head. Nobody had hit him in it. He just lowered his head. And she came into this on her own accord. And because she jumped on his back. Look at that. Freeze frame. She jumped on his back. And of course, they don't want him, Lavelle, to turn around and hit a female. But she jumped on his back. Look at that. That's her running in. Shot by shot by shot. And she's on his back now. I know it looked a little blurry, but she knew it was her. And she can't deny and say that wasn't me. Nah, that was her. She's already stated that she did jump into it. So she can't lie and say she didn't do it at this point. But the reason why she jumped into it was not for her to break anything up. What you gonna break up? You gonna jump in on a grown man's back like this? What? How is that jumping anything? How is that separating anything? She's trying to break something up. How? So she jumps in on Lavelle's back. Right here. That's her point of contact. That's when her battery starts. Look at that. So she jumped in on his back. You can see that clearly. With a fist raised. She got a fist raised up. Jumped in on his back. Fist raised. Came down and punched him in the back. She punched him in the back. Right here. She had a fist raised up. See, she came in, ran in. See her fist raised up? Up in the air right there. And then she lands it on him on the back. And punched him on the back. And she kept swinging. They pulled Lavelle out the way. By this point, she ran in closer towards Jedediah in another angle. I can fill in the gaps and tell you exactly what happened. That's when she ran into the circle and she punched and kicked Jedediah, who was leaning up against the table. And this is before DeMarcus punk ass gets up on the table and breaks that TV. So she already over there fighting, swinging, kicking, and then somebody pulls her out. And he said, "What are you doing?" So whoever pulled her out was like, "What are you doing?" So whoever pulled her out was like, "What are you doing?" So they pull Lavelle out because you got a female that jumped on his back. Like she's stupid, because she is. Here she go, running in like Mighty Mouse. And leaps in the air. Leaps in the air on top of Lavelle's back. Lands a punch on his back. Why is she not in jail again? Oh, because of reasons? Because South Holland Police Department sucks ass? Okay. Look at that. That's a good, clear shot right here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at her pushing. Trying to punch. Look at that. Whee! Ooh, Lord. I want y'all to see this. She landed that first hit on Lavelle's back, punched him in the back, and then pushed him. That's what you see. Boom. Landing in and pushed him. That's not breaking up a fight. And then she goes deeper into the fight. He gets pulled out the way. Lavelle gets pulled out the way. See that? He's kind of pushed out the way. She goes deeper into the fight. That's not you breaking shit up. That's not how you break up a fight. You don't go deeper into it. No. She goes deeper into the fight. By this point, she's kicking, She has already punched Jedediah and kicked him, and then gets pulled away out of the melee.
What you doing, man?
What you doing, man? Yeah, setting herself up to get a record again. That's what she doing. She can't say it's not her. Oh, that's not me. No, this is you, dummy.
What you doing, man?
Who protect her at this point? Why? And what are you doing? I sure wish the God she would have answered. No, I wish she would have let her answer. What are you doing? I don't know if she said no or come on. Why y'all let her get away again?
What you doing, man?
Wow. Yeah, no. So this angle right here does clear up a lot when it comes to her clear role in this. I mean, she landed a punch on the back of Lavelle's back and pushed him out the way. Because, you know, Mighty Mouse doing dumb things. Look at that. Just look at the stance. Look at that. Look at that move right there. This is her. Doing dumb things even more. Let's keep going. Scroll up. And you see Lavelle's been pulled away. Somebody wearing a white shirt, long sleeve shirt or sweater. Whoever arm this is. It wasn't her. It wasn't like she was trying to grab him and push him out the way. No. She punched him in the back and pushed him. But it wasn't to get him out the way to break anything up. And then she goes deeper into the fight to get towards Jedediah. I thought the mission was to save your dumbass boyfriend that started it. Because he started it. He made the initial first contact. Physical contact. And then someone's trying to, the guy in this hood here. Who is this? Because it wasn't Keith McNugget. He was wearing orange. Whoever this is with the white pants on, he literally was just trying to get her out of that. Like, get out of here. Get out. So, look at that. She had to be pushed out, or else she would have kept going. This is crazy. Oh, yeah. See, this is the last thing you wanted me to do, heifer, is use my device and technology on this to slow all this shit down and get it frame by frame with you going into a fight while you lying on TV saying you didn't do nothing wrong. But you came and you punched a man in the back like that. I don't know what you thought you was stopping, by the way. Even if it didn't hurt, it's the fact that you made that type of contact. It wasn't you breaking shit up. So my video is going to dispel your dumbass lie about breaking something up. You didn't break nothing up. You didn't break anything up. You standing right here looking dumb. And he looked at her like, what are you doing? You know what she did? Stood there and looked at the camera like, huh? I don't speak English. Me no speak English. What you talking about? Guilty face. You dumb demon. No one asked you to jump into this. So stupid. All this is ridiculous. Like, the fact that you felt the need to do that, and what? What point you think you proving? All these videos out here filming you?
What you doing, man?
She's stupid. She knows she wrong. That's why she didn't say nothing. Normally she'll run her mouth. Mighty quiet here. Mighty quiet, Mighty Mouse. You cockroach. You didn't say not one word in this. Normally she'll be running her mouth, talking crap, being flip at the mouth. Not a word here. Didn't even answer the question. What are you doing? What are you doing? What were you doing? Wow. Woo, child. All right, so whoever her lagoons are, all y'all that's being caught up in this, please know you can be called as a witness. You, little girl, with this bubble vest on. Yep. The guy in the white hood and white pants when you pulled out. Yeah. The guy recording this, Ernesto Mickens. Yeah. You know that this video is going to get subpoenaed. I hope you know that. I mean, it's available online, but if there's more footages that you haven't put out there, oh, they're gonna get that stuff. You got it coming, bro. Woo, Lord, you better just put it all out. Like, look, I gave up everything I had. I posted it online. I put it on YouTube. Ooh, Lord have mercy. They gonna come to you and ask. The guy right here in the white pants and the black jacket. Bigums right here. Yeah, they gonna come for you too. At least Ernesto sounded like he was annoyed at her nonsense. Nah, yeah, no. Whoever her name is, please give me her name. What's her name? What's your name, girl? Yeah. Get her name in the comment section. And like I said, the other guy from the previous video I did, please find his name. Whoever he is, please post his name. That was pushing Jedediah by his head. It's not Randy. Some commenter told me, one of the commenters told me it wasn't Randy. And it was not, like I said, I don't know who these people are. I don't know their name. So I can hear a name and think that, and assume, especially if they look dead at the camera, that they're answering to whomever's calling them. That's naturally what people are gonna think. So I don't know what his name is. But that's what I'm trying to find out. So let's not be all crazy and be the goons that we know we're not, and not want to say, now his name is so and so and so. They need to be held accountable, and they all at least need to be questioned. At the very least, you need to be questioned. Now you can go to the police station and give a statement on your own accord, girl. Yes, you can. Cause what was she thinking? Yeah, okay. So here's, that's the bulk of what I want to show in that. But the issue that I'm having in this is that, you got a lot of people sitting here talking about Jedediah was wrong and this, that, and the third. And it cost I wouldn't have let somebody call me the B word and all this other stuff. Let me explain something to you. Saying the B word, saying bitch, I did a video about it. By law, it's not illegal. People don't want to learn and be educated on what the law says about that term. Especially when Super Stupid and her dumbass attorney are making vile threats to take someone to court. You would think that he would want to educate his client on what the law says and what court rulings and what precedence shows about freedom of speech and the B word being used. You would think he would want to educate her on that. But no, it's too much like right. So they got to go find out the hard way, just like Max Solomon got to keep finding out the hard way. And then you go and get a criminal defense attorney. For what? What do you need a criminal defense attorney for unless you got some criminal charges coming down the pipeline? I'm confused by that. You got a criminal defense attorney? You got criminal charges coming? Please tell me it's from the FBI, because bless God. Otherwise, what do you need a criminal defense attorney for? No one keeps that type of attorney on retainment unless you commit a lot of crimes. No one super stupid keeps a criminal defense attorney on retainment. That's not normal, little girl. So, saying the B word is not illegal. It is protected free speech under the First Amendment of our U.S. Constitution. If you do not like our constitutional laws here, get the hell out of the United States of America. Good luck to you. But these cases are also looked at based on the circumstance. And one of the case law that I provided in the previous video where I actually addressed that Was Tiffany Henyard being called a bitch illegal? No, it wasn't. Did it lead to a fight? No, it didn't. What led to a fight was what you heard in the beginning. Kamal and that punk ass DeMarcus that stood up on that table and broke that TV that the Thornton Township should not pay for. And guess what? The insurance is not going to pay for it either because of how it was broken and damaged. They're not going to cover that insurance claim. And Thornton Township would have to lie like hell to the insurance company just to get that payout. So no, they're going to assess the damage. They're going to see if it's even included as a part of the policy. They're going to want to know how was it broken? How was it damaged? And all these videos out here on YouTube, they're going to look at them and they're going to say, no, we're not covering that TV. So hopefully the Thornton Township, you all listen to Lady Luck Club. I'm trying to tell you something. I'm trying to spare you all from being investigated for filing an insurance claim to cover a damn TV that I'm telling you right now they will not cover because of how it was damaged. This is not an act of God. This is not some sort of freak accident, weather phenomenon. You had wire shortages or something and something sparked and blew up. Nope. This was a physical fight that occurred that DeMarcus Quigley somehow felt the need to jump up on a table to escape from and didn't fully achieve the goal of getting away and broke a TV in the process. So you all need to sue his ass for that TV and get the money out of him. But at the end of the day, you have this physical fight that occurred that, as you can see, the first touch that was initiated, the aggression of it all, was from Kamal himself. Had he sat his dumb ass down and shut the hell up, guess what would happen? Nothing. Nothing. They would have had an exchange of words. That's about it. But if he would not have gotten up to try to initiate some physical contact, and even when he got up and Lavelle was right next to him, Lavelle put his arm out. He did not touch him. He simply was trying to keep some separation between Kamal and Jedediah. And Kamal was the one that reached out and grabbed Lavelle's left shoulder and grabbed his clothes as he balled up a fist. He grabbed his clothes and he pulled Lavelle towards him. And that's when Lavelle defended himself, which is something he has the right to do. He defended himself. There was a push and a hit because Kamal had already battered him at that point. That's what battery is defined to be. He'd already made that physical contact. So the actual words of saying bitch did not start the fight. They're going to look at this and say, well, no, he got up and he was not even being addressed. Jedediah was not addressing Kamal. He was addressing Tiffany Henyard. Super stupid. And Super Stupid sat there. She didn't get up and just start wailing on Jedediah. She didn't create a physical fight. She may have wanted to, but she didn't get up and actually act upon it. And because that physical interaction did not occur, after he called her a bitch, and he didn't even say it to be intimidating or threatening. He said, you gone, bitch. Just like the case law that I cited in my previous video where the lady told the store manager, you fat, ugly bitch. That didn't initiate a fight. That lady left the store, went home, and the next thing you know, she's being charged and put in jail for 26 days because some dumb police officer said, oh, you used fighting words. And the Supreme Court in the state overruled it and said, no, she did not. Those are not fighting words. Standalone measure of saying fat, ugly bitch or you gone bitch, those are not fighting words. It is getting up, saying B-A-N, you bitch A-N, and then actually putting your hand on someone that's simply trying to keep space and distance between you and the person you're talking to. And then you actually grab this man by his left shoulder, grabbed his clothes and stuff, and then think that he was going to defend himself when you done already tried to pull him down and you done put your hands on him, basically. That's it. Now you all can clearly see that was done. Frame by frame. This is, hula. This is the stuff that she's not going to ever admit to. No one should be expecting her to apologize or anything. That would be too much like right. But we're going to go next to her dumbass interview she did with her attorney, because I just want a good laugh at this point. Okay, let's watch a narcissist still sit here and still not talk about how she did not, I guess, in her alternate universe or wherever her mind has gone to, did not participate in a fight and actually fought somebody and kicked them and punched them and all this other stuff. Actually, more than one person. But, yeah, she's going to deny it and then pretend like, somehow all of us are tapped out of reality. Because that's all I hear at this point that comes from her mouth. Is a woman who's lost her mind. That's a complete pathological lying piece of shit. That's a psychopath and a narcissist and a sociopath and an Ewok.
Called for the mayor of Dalton to resign. She is defending herself tonight. Tiffany Henyard says she is staying put and running for re-election. Henyard says if she wins, she will choose employees much more carefully.
She ain't winning shit.
The mayor of Dalton has had nothing to say in person about the investigation into village finances until today.
I understand everybody want me to be the target. I understand everybody want
you were the
me
mayor.
to be the bad guy for everything that goes on in the village, but that's not the truth.
Tiffany Henyard met with us and her attorney to comment on the report. They say Henyard released a statement Tuesday, but it didn't get much attention. Henyard says she's being blamed for the actions of others. You're the boss.
Right.
Do everybody know what their employees do?
Yes. Yes. Because you can just look up the job description, idiot. Are you kidding? You might not know how to do their job, but you should know what they do. Shouldn't that be outlined in positional duties? Yes, it should be. Ooh, you know what? If they had codified procedures in place, then that would be easy to pull and look up. Codified procedures. It's like state statutes, except the codified, meaning it's coded, has a series of either numbers and letters or a mixture of both that comes before the policy itself. Then that way you can follow along. So when you learn how to read, super stupid, more than just 2 and 3 syllable words. I'm not talking about dog, cat, 8, bat, hat. I'm talking about onomatopoeia. When you start saying more complex terms and reading those terms and understand what they mean without having to look at dictionary.com all day, then you'll know that you gotta have codified policies and procedures in place to help define what each role does. And departmental guidelines and procedures to ensure when these things are not done, here's the penalty for these employees that don't do their job. You failed to get that in place, but yet you have no problem getting your black ass somewhere on a plane, flying to Alabama about a bridge, or going to Washington, D.C. to meet the president about reasons. Why did you go there? Wait, going to Las Vegas to try to bring businesses into Dalton and Thornton Township, although you billed the expenses to the wrong, you built that to Thornton Township when I don't know. I don't know, maybe it was a trip to D.C. That should have been billed to the village of Dalton, but she built it to Thornton Township. So you're just trying to steal money from all over the place. But no, you couldn't do that right. You couldn't even submit receipts to make sure that it went to the right place, the right finance department to actually expense those receipts out. And then on top of everything else, you spent money like you've lost your mind, like it's running water down a river. Just because you all don't see her steal cash, first of all, that doesn't happen. That's not how white collar crimes work. Because even if you did see that, you would still be in disbelief and try to come up with another dumb excuse to sit here and suffice for that. So don't sit here and say, I want to see her do this and do that. You will never see her do this and do that. Secondly, I don't want her to steal cash because that's not what the FBI can track. No. they're going to track the receipts. They're going to track the credit card statements, the bank statements. That's what they're going to track. You're not going to, you expect somebody to steal $1 million of cash and run away, and somehow we're supposed to find cash, $1 million of cash? Seriously? When you guys, even if you're trying to give the benefit of the doubt, you still need to think. Use common sense. God gave a Billy Goat. You can't track cash. That's not how that works. So no, I want her to keep using cards that she's not supposed to use. If she's sitting here stealing, it's going to be through money laundering or embezzlement. It's not going to be just stealing out cash. That's not how that shit works. And I don't want her to do that, because then the FBI is going to have a harder time trying to track this money. So you basically want her to do things to still break laws, but do it in a way where she gets away with it. Because who the hell is going to track down $1 million of cash if she walks away with $1 million of cash in her hand and no receipt, no nothing? How do you track that now? You don't. You can't. You can't track how that's spent. You can't track how cash is spent. So if you're trying to say that to give her an idea, then you really, honestly, should be questioning yourself. But it's stupid. It's dumb. No, that's not how that works. Financial crimes don't always have to equate to you stealing cash. That's not what it means. And people are just mindlessly trying to come up with excuses to help build some defense around her. Don't feel bad, because if you did vote for her or support her in the past, who knew she would turn out to be this demonic? I mean, she's an Ewok unto herself. Who knew, right? Who knew? I wouldn't feel bad about it. I'd be like, listen, I voted for her because she bamboozled a lot of people. She still bamboozles whole grown men and turns them into full grown simps. That seems to be her forte, turning a whole man into a bitch simp. A simp. Michael Smith, Keith the Hamburglar, William Moore, Kamal, DeMarcus Quigley. I mean, we can name a few others. Whole grown men turned into the biggest simps ever. Just punks. And all they do is, yes, I do what you say. Yes, I do what you say. And that's it. That's all they do. Yes, I'll do it. Yes, ma'am, I'll do it. She say jump, they say how high. Keith might have the a hard time doing that, but he'll get up there at one point. he'll reach the stars one day, because he damn sure trying. That's all he seems to do, is just want to kiss her ass all day. You taking her to check cash in places. Who does not have a bank account right now? I mean, seriously. Unless the feds have moved in and frozen her assets, which we would know about. Why check cash in place? Seriously. No, I don't want her walking around with cash. I want her to keep using this stuff that can be tracked. Please do that. Use Google Pay. Go use some little gift card or something. Anything that can be tracked. That's what you need to be using. Cash is not it. Somebody want to see you steal cash. No, the hell you don't. FBI can't track them transactions. It's the dumbest thing ever. Nobody carries that much cash anyway. Oh, come on.
But do you feel responsibility because they were your employees?
I feel responsibility to tell the truth, and that's what I'm doing.
On Monday, former Chicago Mayor
Spell truth.
Lori Lightfoot revealed expenses ballooned during Henyard's tenure that led to a deficit of $3.65 million at one point. Lightfoot reports anything over $5,000 needed trustee approval, but that protocol wasn't followed, and instead the village was paying off expenses from 6 different credit cards that included few receipts from places like Wayfair and Amazon, and over $40,000 for items for an ice skating rink. Henyard contends the expenses were approved and that...
I want y'all to hear that. They said ice skating rink. It was not originally built to be a roller skating rink. I understand that it was named after her daughter, but it was also meant to be an ice skating rink. Why is it that people are having issues digesting that simple concept? I literally went on the Village of Dalton's YouTube channel and pulled up the video and featured that in one of the videos I did just last week. Actually, this past week. about the ice skating rink, and then did a video about how ice skating rinks are made as far as laying down the ice. That video from the village of Dalton that she's in is the Just Ice project. It's the ice skating rink. It's not it's not a roller rink. It was an ice skating rink. And if they want to sit here and use artificial ice planks, first of all, you got to keep that maintained, which is more money. And then on top of that, what's the deal about not just buying the equipment you need to lay down the water and make real ice? Why not just start with it being a roller rink? She herself has said in several videos it was an ice skating rink. She wanted it to be built. The board did not approve that. She wanted that. And now she wants to make it seem like, well, they chose to go out and buy the materials for it. They didn't want to do any of that dumb shit. What are you talking about, Ewok? They didn't want none of that. $1.4 million, but there's got to be some kickbacks in that, FBI. There's got to be some kickbacks in that. Please follow the money.
The one making purchases.
Not cash.
Put the responsibility where it goes. I understand everybody.
On you.
The mirror, it's not.
It's on you.
It's people put in place.
Lori Lightfoot's not interested in fact, but in spectacle. She's interested in political.
Sir, Bo Brindley, your client is not interested in facts either. Because all of us have been waiting on her to post a receipt for something. Post the receipts up from that hotel from Las Vegas. Or those dinners and drinks. Or the $40,000 Amazon purchase. What about the purchases on Wayfair? Are we forgetting Wayfair? Wayfair was a thing. What about the purchases from that? Or explain the purchase on the Chevy Tahoe truck. Where did that check go? Please understand that if the trustees showed a copy of that check, that was $561,000. If she didn't cash it, it went to somewhere else where someone cashed in a $561,000 check. That bank or wherever they took it to, they would be the ones that would have a copy of the back of the check, because it would only be signed by the person that cashes the check. That's how check cashing works. The person that signs the check on the front, that writes out the check, unless they're cashing it to themselves, will not have a reason to sign the back. So asking about the back of a check is a moot point. Once again, there's no logic to that. If she didn't cash that $561,000 check and she simply signed it and signed it out to the payee, whoever that payee is, whether it was a construction company or her second-handed cousin that was trying to do a kickback, whatever they were trying to do with it, why would she have a reason to sign the back? She's not cashing it herself. She signed it, and it was supposed to have 2 signatures on that check. Does everybody understand that now? Or is that still a very basic concept to me? It's a very basic concept to me. But maybe I need to break it down on why the trustees may not have a copy of the back of the check. And if they do, it should be blank from what they have. Once it reached the bank, unless they have their names on the bank account where that check was cashed in, they will not be able to get any information from that because we have privacy laws. The FBI will have to subpoena that check to see what the back is if it's not deposited in the same bank account that belongs to the village of Dalton. I think most people understand how banks work. So if you have a check and it's your checking account and you're writing out a check, you go to a hair salon and you're paying $100 for your hair. When you sign at the bottom of the check, you're signing as a payor. The person that is making the payment. The payee is the name of the person you're going to put on the check, and then you'll put the amount, how much you owe them. That payee is the one that is going to sign the back of that check when they get ready to cash it or deposit it wherever they're going to it. They go to a check cashing place or to a bank. The payee is the one that's going to sign the back of the check. So you're going to give that $100 check to your hairdresser. I have to put it in this concept so that people can understand why it's asinine to keep saying that she should have, well, the trustee should have the back of the check. No, they won't have it. That's not how that works. So you give it to your hairstylist. Here's $100. Thank you for doing my hair. You already put their name on the check as the payee. You signed the bottom as the account holder and payor. Now, if that check required an additional signature, let's say you're married. So you and your spouse got to sign that same check. And you only sign it, but the spouse did not sign it at all. You give that check to your hairstylist. Your hairstylist might not use the same bank that you use. So if you use Bank of America, your hairstylist might use SunTrust Bank. I'm just throwing out an account. I don't know, pick one. They might use a totally different bank. When they take that check to their bank to deposit or cash it, that's when the back of the check gets signed. Now, let's say for the purposes of the 2 signature requirement being needed, you know that you and your husband or your spouse, you or your wife, your husband, however you get your hair done, you and your spouse are supposed to sign that check. Your bank may know that. However, the hairstylist may not know that, nor would the bank she uses, the bank the hairstylist uses. So if you bank with Bank of America might be aware that you need 2 signatures to write out a check. It must be signed by 2 people at all times. Your hairstylist gets that check, takes that check, and she banks with SunTrust Bank. She goes to SunTrust Bank. SunTrust Bank does not know that you and your spouse must sign this check that you bank with under Bank of America. SunTrust Bank won't know that from Bank of America. The only way they will know that communication will flow is if the hairdresser goes to the bank, tries to deposit the check at the bank, or cash the check at her bank with SunTrust. And when SunTrust is authorizing that check, it should be flagged by Bank of America. 2 signatures are required for this check to be cashed or deposited. That's something that wouldn't even happen right away. You know why? Because for the most part, the information is translated from bank to bank. That's done electronically. That's electronically transmitted. That's not something that they're going to see right away unless the check itself or the account itself is flagged. But let's say SunTrust decides, okay, this is a good check. It's not, the check account, the check number is valid. And the person that signed and wrote it out, their name is on the check. It might not be until 2 or 3 days later where a copy of the check goes to Bank of America, where the account holder is. And then they look at the check and say, wait a minute. We're not releasing the funds on this. We need to put a hold on this check because it required 2 signatures. That has nothing to do with SunTrust. That's the protocol that Bank of America has with this particular account, that these 2 account holders' signatures must be on a check. So it's not SunTrust's fault if they actually deposit the check and give the money to the hairdresser. It's for something that needs to be addressed with Bank of America because they have a client that has an account there that requires 2 signatures on that damn check. But that would be something that they would have to square away, guess what? With the account holder. So if those 2 people who, the spouses, you and your spouse, that's supposed to be signing that check, those 2 signatures must be on there and only one was on the check, Bank of America is going to call that account holder and say, listen, what's going on? I thought that it required you and your spouse's signature on this check. Why the hell I only see one on this check? The account holder being the 2 people that signed it, or that were required to sign it, they're the only ones that can tell the bank what to do moving forward with the check. They're the only 2. So if it was super stupid and another person that was supposed to sign that $561,000 check, because they're the only 2 listed on that account, guess what? The bank is not going to call all the trustees. They're only going to call the account holders to notify them to say 2 people were required to be listed on this damn check to be signed out for any amount of money going to any person, doesn't matter who the payee is or how much it is, 2 signatures are required. And we only see super stupids on here and not the other person. What's going on? Now, if their protocols allow them to to accept her saying, well, I understand that it required 2, but XYZ had occurred, and the other person could not get their signature on the check, and they accept that as an excuse, that would be between the bank and the account holder. The question is, what the hell did super stupid tell the bank to get them to accept the bullshit excuse as to why the other person's signature was not on the check the day she signed it? That's not for the vendor, the contract. That's not for them. That has nothing to do with them. So if you don't understand how these banking procedures work and how these financial transactions operate, you're gonna be saying things that makes no sense and that every bank would disagree with. So understand, if it comes down to this, there are nuances with each bank and how they operate. Their operating procedures for Bank of America might not be the same exact thing as SunTrust. But Bank of America might be more stringent when it comes to, 2-party signatures on a check versus SunTrust. They might notify the account holder to say, well, we just processed a check that only had 1 signature on it. We want to make sure that we are supposed to process this. And we need something from the other party saying, hey, go ahead and process the check. Bank of America might not do that. So you have to know what the banking procedures are and how they operate when it comes to those types of nuances when it comes to an account. I would hope that the Village of Dalton had a bank account set up where super stupid and the clerk who was supposed to be on it are to sign it at all times, or they are not to process the damn check and release the funds. I would have hoped that would have been some measures they would have had in place. But if super stupid went to the bank as one of the account holders and told them, look, this is what I'm trying to, just like she went and raised up the limit on credit cards. She didn't go through the board to do it. But because she had the credit card in her name, she was the account holder for it. So technically, the credit card company, they're not going to get caught up in all this dumb drama. They don't care about that. Oh, you got to go through somebody to get a permission or something? Okay, whatever. Just call us when you're ready. They don't care about all that stuff. They're a private organization. So she was able to go to the credit card company, get the credit limit increase, and use credit cards without the board even knowing or getting an approval or anything. Because she was the account holder listed on that account. And that's the same thing with her and the clerk being listed on the bank account. If she was able to call the bank and say, or give them something, and maybe she has something with the clerk key's name and signature on it that may have been forged, that may have been something the clerk signed, and she wasn't aware she signed something where the bank, permitted her to write the check for $561,000 and cashed it without there being 2 signatures on it. Either the bank itself notified super stupid and clerk key and said, listen, there's a $561,000 check here. We only see 1 signature on it, if they did their due diligence. That's how it should have happened. They should have contacted both of them and sent out correspondence to say, this account requires 2 signatures to be on a check before it is processed and paid out. Are you all sure you want us to do this? It's only 1 signature on here. We're going to keep it on hold. That check should have been put on hold while they communicate with both account holders, and they should have gotten some feedback from both account holders. But let's say one of them gets some communication and calls herself the big bad wolf mayor and doesn't tell the other person, but comes up with some nonsense to tell the bank, or maybe forges a signature, or forges a statement, or sends something that could have been the actual clerk key's real signature on a document she had no idea was going to a bank to try to validate this check being cleared when her signature was required on it. Those are the things that the FBI can subpoena and sit down and ask questions to the bankers there to their fraud. Every bank has a fraud department. They can speak with the fraud department about it. They can get all copies of the checks and stuff. They can get all of that because the account holders aren't going to get it. And at the end of the day, at the time that the check was written out, the account holders were super stupid and clerk key. And if the clerk was taken off the check or was not, did not sign it, although she may have been added to the account. Listen to what I'm saying. Although she may have been added to the account, if she didn't sign the check, the question would be if she's not on it now, or even if she is on the account, does she have the ability to access that particular check? Is that something that they're able to share with her or not? That's part of that banking procedures that you have to read about, because every bank doesn't do that the same way. Those would be questions that you can ask the clerk as well. Maybe the clerk will see this video and she'll put in the comments how that went. I don't know. She can email me. Email me at LadyLuckClubLLC@yahoo.com. Clerk key. Tell me what happened with that. Because I'm curious to know. She might not even fully know. I mean, super stupid is sneaky and a pathological liar. What do you want? Stop. Let's not pretend like super stupid is not a pathological liar. But I had to go through that scenario so that people can understand why it might not have been easy for the clerk to just call the bank and say, I need a copy of this check. And whatever they received was just the front of the check, because more than likely, if they got it from their bank that they use, super stupid signed the check out to an individual, to a different payee. She didn't write the check to cash to herself. It was written out to go to some construction company. She would not have signed the back of the damn check. So the back of the check, until it was cashed, should have been blank. So what's the point of getting the back of the check from the bank that the Village of Dalton uses? More than likely, the back of the check is going to be blank. It won't be any signature on the back because she didn't cash it. She simply wrote the check out. There's a difference. You don't write a check out and then sign the back of it. That renders the check null and void, especially if you're giving it to a different payee. You can't sign the back of a check that you're writing out if you're not the payee on it. If you're not cashing it out to yourself. You don't write a check to your hairdresser and then you go sign the back of the check. Your hairdresser can't cash or deposit that check anymore. So it's no longer valid. So these are simple things that people need to think about. Don't be too quick to defend. I can't stand super stupid with all I got. But I still have to think logical through certain situations too. I mean, let's use the common sense God gave a Billy Goat, please. Because otherwise, you trying to find and rationalize some level of defense in your mind for her and why she should not have the accountability and the responsibility that she bears as a mayor thrust upon her where it belongs is baffling to me. She wants all the power but no responsibility, and it's just a cowardice move. It's disgusting and deplorable to sit here and want to dip and dodge all the responsibility but want all the power and the praise and the glory, and people bending down at her wheel and whole grown men becoming simps. So that and you can add her attorneys to this mix. Both Brindley and Max Solomon. Both of them are incompetent, because if he was smart, he would not have had her do this interview. No, you would not have. You would not have had her do this interview. Because when you go to court, if you and your dumbass client try to file a lawsuit, guess what's going to happen? Her character is going to be assassinated. And there's going to be so many videos of her speaking and running her mouth that the judge would find distasteful. First of all, why don't you ask your client what the hell happened for you to get a direct contempt of court charge, like a direct criminal contempt of court charge? Originally it was indirect. Now it's direct. Direct criminal contempt charge. What did you say and do in that courtroom to that judge? Yeah, okay. Miss us with your bullshit, Brindley. Go on somewhere, counsel.
Theater that's going to help her. not the people.
Lightfoot spokesperson shared
it
a
helped the
comment,
people.
which reads in part, Mayor Henyard
many
and
of
others
us have been
systematically
entertained and
withheld the
helped
truth from trustees and the public about the true financial state of the village. The spokesperson goes on to say, the facts speak for themselves, and no amount of spin can overcome the tragic reality of her tenure as mayor of the village of Dalton. A day after the Lightfoot report, social media lit up with videos of a scuffle at a Thornton.
It's like she did
meeting
this
where
to get
Henyard
attention
is
taken away from the Lightfoot report.
Henyard is seen in this video getting involved in the chaos. Her lawyer claims someone from outside Dalton who attended the meeting swung a knife at the mayor's boyfriend.
These men are attacked.
Who had a knife? Who had a knife, Brindley? Who had a knife, Brindley? It's too many videos and eyewitnesses that will come in and testify against you and your client. Who the hell had a knife, Brindley? You might want to correct that, sir. You're an officer of the court, and you are looking even more deplorable than Max Solomon does. How disgusting of you. Who had a knife, Brindley? You don't just take your client's word for it. Man, let me tell you something. My attorney would never, ever let me just make an accusation like that. And then they just go run wild with it and say that this was what happened on all of social media. My attorney would look at me and say, listen, I need to see proof of that before I even let that word come out of my mouth. Who had a knife, Brindley? And where was it? In all the videos, in all the witnesses that were around, who the hell had a knife? Point them out and say their name. Please do it so we can all sue your ass for defamation. In all the videos and all the witnesses that will be there to testify against her dumb ass, who had the knife again?
Him with a deadly weapon.
Who?
The mayor, fearing for his safety, did go toward that crowd.
His safety? His safety? Ewok, you a man now. Hold on. Ewok is a man now. Because her attorney, this is what happens when you say dumb shit without thinking twice, Brindley. What an embarrassment to the Illinois State Bar you are.
Safety did go toward that crowd.
I'm still waiting on him to say who had a knife.
A knife at the mayor's boyfriend.
Who had a knife?
These men are attacking him with a deadly weapon, and the mayor, fearing for his safety, did go toward that crowd, risking getting hurt herself.
Her attorney claims that coverage...
No, she ran in it getting hurt herself. That's what she get. Who had a knife? Brindley. You're an officer of the court.
Who attended the meeting swung a knife at the mayor's boyfriend.
These men are attacking him with a deadly weapon, and the mayor, fearing for his safety, did go toward that.
Who had a knife?
Risking getting hurt herself.
Her attorney claims that coverage...
Did you point out the fact that, yes, my client was seen grabbing a microphone and hitting a grown man in the head with it while he was on the floor? He didn't say anything about that. Brindley, you are a disgrace to the Illinois State Bar, and you should be reported and disbarred. You are an absolute disgrace, and I hope that she's paying you out of her paycheck and you're not getting tax dollars. Do not let this man get paid, Village of Dalton. You guys are going to have to start really putting your foot down and saying, get the fuck out of here. We're not paying all these attorneys she's got. Make him have to sue her for his money. Don't pay these damn attorneys anymore. Stop paying the attorneys. And I'll go so far as to say you need to question whether you're going to pay the attorney for the election board. That lady that sits there, the election judge. Why y'all paying her? She's letting the election board run all over her. Girl, you know the law. Put your foot down. We'll address that in that video.
Coverage of the incident unfairly villainizes Henyard. We should mention no one was arrested.
Yeah, no. Because she ran into a fight and used a microphone to hit a grown man in the head while he was on the floor and kicked him. A fight her dumbass married boyfriend started. People want to sit here talking about him being married is irrelevant. It will be relevant when he go back to court, the family court, for that divorce. Oh, it will be highly relevant. Yes, it will be. And if you don't know how family court operates when it comes to divorces, shut the hell up, because you don't know. You have no idea how much this makes his wife look so good to the judge. And he's going to look like the dumbass that he is. And guess what? He's the petitioner. He filed for the divorce petition. So now he even looks just even more worse. You never see him with his kids. You don't see him. You don't even hear him say anything nice about his own children. He don't talk about them in any way. But you see him carrying her little girl around. Where I hope Justice's real father comes and gets her. Please win your custody case you have. Please, dear God, win your custody battle. I heard a gentleman from the Shade Room. That was on right before Jedediah did his interview. The Shade Room, the young man that was talking about the matter. And he said that he actually knows Super Stupid's daughter's father. He's a wealthy guy that married an anchor reporter. Please get custody. Please, dear God, get custody of your daughter. You got enough video camera footage to show how unfit she is. I just gave you a whole new angle in this video here. Use it. Get custody of your daughter and get this little girl out of this nonsense. She deserves to be in a healthy, happy home and not in a home where they're either on the verge of being evicted from or getting court orders where they have to almost get evicted. They're changing locks on somebody else's house. She don't own that house. It's not her house. And additionally, if you go ahead and get it now, then you can say, whether you want her to pay child support or not, you can still ask for it. Because she got all this income coming in. Yes, go get it. Go get it. Get child support. Get full custody of your daughter. Say, until all this stuff blows over, I prefer my daughter not be involved with any of that. I want her to be with me. And I can give her a stable, solid home. She can do FaceTime with her mom. I'll make sure she has a device to do that with. Recommend FaceTime, but not in person. Don't even go to a supervised visitation. Nope. FaceTime. That's it. Till she decides to leave all this nonsense alone and stop putting my daughter at risk. My daughter needs to stay with me. Come and get your daughter, young man. Go get your daughter and get full custody of her. Get her out of that nonsense. All right. So I think this is the end of the video.
They're charged in that incident in Thornton Township. Now, meantime,
no one was charged because South Harlem
police on Monday. But after what happened in Thornton, Mark and Cheryl, Tiffany Henyard says she's unlikely to attend unless they beef up security.
Yeah, her boyfriend doesn't need to attend because he's the only reason why there was a physical fight. And you all saw it. Play by play. That's exactly how a judge and a jury will look at it. They will break it down frame by frame. So, either way, it was longer than I anticipated it, but I had to explain this whole thing with the bank stuff because it's just way too many people just seems to be confused about something it's simple to most people. I mean, if you understand how banks work and you've had an account, it shouldn't be that difficult to understand why it's certain things you can and can't get if you're not the account holder or, if you need two people to sign a check, that could be an exception that may have been given to her. God knows what that is. If the other account holder may or may not know, maybe she does know. She just told the FBI and no one else. I mean, whatever reason it is, I know that the FBI for sure will be able to get a subpoena to the bank to get all those bank records. And we're praying for that superseding indictment where they can get bank statements and freeze assets and do all those things. Once a grand jury indicts her, then the FBI would have complete autonomy and control to do exactly what they need to do. They can cut off her accounts and access to them. They can go seize homes and property and anything else in between. Phones and records and all that stuff. They can get it. So we all praying that they hurry the hell up. But I do want them to be thorough when they drop them charges and she gets indicted by a grand jury. I want it to stick. I want it to be where a plea deal still involves some level of prison time. So let them gather everything they need to gather and do what they need to do so that they can have 99.9% chance of getting a conviction. More than likely she'll want to do a plea deal because she doesn't want to go to prison. But either way, she needs to go to prison. I don't care if it's for 5 years and that's part of the plea deal. And if she don't take a plea deal and she go through a whole trial, no less than 15 to 20. That's it. That's all I'm gonna be happy with. But all right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Share this video. I always tag the FBI in it, so they're gonna get it anyway. And you guys continue to be safe. Take care. Lady Luck out. Deuces.